It's looking bad today. That's how it's looking. Cole gonna break some. And if he don't break some, he gonna beat the out of him. Over the. Oh. Nice. Oh. Killing reverse. Like, so I guess in the ring game, man, this dude got there beating me up. Like, we only sparred, I think 2 or 3 rounds. It was 4-minute rounds. Man, this dude beat me up so bad. I swear to God, that was the worst whooping I ever had as a fighter. And I couldn't believe it. Like, I went home that day, like, I just could not believe what happened. Like, because it don't happen to me. I was a kid and I used to spar with pros. I used to beat up on pros all the time. Like, it was something new. And once he beat me up, the next time we sparred, I always made sure, like, this is gonna be different. You ain't gonna just beat me up. Like, I feel like from that sparring session and just being around Bud Crawford, he's a major reason.
Great competitors refine one another, and true greats strengthen their legacy through challenge. At this moment, Shakur Stevenson is pushing his limits by training alongside one of the most elite fighters in the sport, Terence Crawford.
Only thing he can throw is a hook because you out the way of the right hand.
He like a sponge. He soak up everything that he need to soak up, put it into his arsenal, and then he make the best out of everything that he learned from everybody.
Then throw it straight left to the box.
At the end of the day, you don't want to feel like a know-it-all. And the people that know it all are the people that don't go very far. You got to always be a student. You got to always be able to learn and pick up things from this person, that person.
He's a work of arts. The sky is the limit with Shakur. He got the boxing skills and the ability to, do whatever he wants in the ring. And it's going to be very hard to beat Shakur, with the skills that he possesses and the smarts that he has, and given the opportunity, I think he can pose a great threat to everybody in the division. And be the last man standing given the opportunity.
Crawford isn't just stopping by Shakur's camp. He's more like a mentor in constant motion, showing up, dropping knowledge, and driving Shakur toward heights that few fighters ever reach.
What is that like? I mean, fighting Terence Crawford, sparring Terence Crawford, this guy's a beast. Everybody knows that. What is that like sparring him? Is it just another level?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's like a whole different level. Like, I done been in there with a lot of people. Like, I done been in there with a lot of people y'all even see now that's on the scene. But to me, is the best fighter that I've been in the ring with, just because of the things that he can do. He can do anything, and you never know what to expect when you go in the ring with
people close to the camp are saying Shakur held his own trading rounds with Crawford. No intimidation, no mismatch. He was in sync with the timing, the thinking, and that calm, surgical tempo Bud is known for. That's crazy when you remember Crawford is the ultimate master of in-fight adjustments. If Shakur is keeping pace with that, it's a clear sign this version of him has leveled up.
Some days he may come in there, he may box you. Some days he may come in there and he want to fight you. He can do. He's one of the most complete fighters that I ever seen.
Have you ever got the best of him in sparring?
I don't speak on that. I mean, I have good days. He had good days, and honestly, I appreciate him for pushing me to the level that I am at now. So I never like go in there and even brag on anything or nothing like that. But Bud is part of the reason I am who I am, and the level that I'm on now is because of him. So
with Crawford guiding him, talking in his ear, standing in his corner, embedded in the camp, Shakur isn't just gearing up to win against Teofimo. He's preparing to break him down piece by piece, like a detailed analysis. Word around the gym is that this matchup could turn one-sided quickly. But there's an unspoken rule everyone in boxing respects. Sparring is off limits. Those rounds are private for a reason. That's where pride gets stripped away and reality takes over. Think back to years ago when Shakur and Teofimo shared the ring in sparring. Once Shakur realized someone was filming, the camera was shut off immediately. That wasn't attitude. That was respect for the code. What happens in the gym stays there, especially when legacies, careers, and future opportunities are at stake. If Shakur truly is going round for round with Crawford right now, then the real narrative is happening far from the spotlight. Whatever's being built behind those closed gym doors is quiet, deliberate, and elite. Teofimo could be stepping in against a Shakur shaped in secrecy, refined by a master, and ready to turn precision into control.
A lot, because I grew in the ring with Bud over the years. I remember my first time sparring him, he played with me. That was my first time being in the ring with somebody, and they had their way with me. And they did whatever they want. And then over the years, I just kept coming back. And every time I see him, like, yo, we sparring? We sparring? Like, every time. That's why you'll see so many pictures and videos of me and Bud in the ring, because it's like, I just wanted to keep pushing myself with a guy that I know is the truth. And as we got older, my level has gotten a lot better from being in the ring with Bud.
While Shakur is sharpening his instincts and timing alongside Terence Crawford, crafting that silent, lethal version of himself in private rounds, Timothy Bradley steps in with the energy of a seasoned veteran who's already lived every mistake before it happens and refuses to dress the truth up. He wasn't just analyzing punches, he was calling out patterns. And when he said the most direct path isn't always the quickest, it landed like a chess principle hidden inside a boxing lesson.
The punch that I'm worried about for Shakur getting hit with the most from Teo, and he's devastating with this punch, is the left hook. Okay? The left.
Bradley was essentially cautioning that Shakur's preference for controlling the fight in straight lines, owning the center, can backfire if Teofimo starts playing with angles and rhythm. He fixated on the left hook like it was a jump scare in a horror film, describing how it vanishes from view and snaps back when you least expect it. You could hear years of hard-earned experience, borderline trauma, in the way he talked about it.
Prime example, straight line fighters, 50-50 fighters, in and out. Shakur can move laterally too. He can, and he will, but most of his work is in and out.
When Bradley talks about fighters retreating in straight lines or settling too comfortably on the center track, that isn't classroom theory. It's lived experience, backed by highlight reel consequences. He's practically sketching a game plan for Teofimo. You don't need a dozen flawless strategies, just one hook that lands at the perfect moment. And that point about the hook, making Shakur keep his guard close, that's the subtle brilliance. Once Shakur has to respect that shot, his defensive cadence tightens, and the freedom he thrives on begins to close in.
Talented fighters get knocked out cold by veterans with left hooks that appear in the frame as they're leaning back. It leaves the frame and comes right back into play. So, with that being said, man, that's a tip for T.
What stood out was how Bradley framed it. Teofimo doesn't have to beat a master technician at his own game. He just has to make that technician uncomfortable. Force hesitation on the retreat. Turn every step back into a moment of risk. That's where things get interesting, because a Shakur sharpened by Crawford is trained to eliminate patterns, while a Teofimo leaning into Bradley's hook philosophy is designed to exploit them. This isn't simply technique versus technique. It's structure versus disruption, straight paths versus looping danger. And in boxing, it's always the unseen punch that ends up deciding the narrative.
They matter. Both hands. That matters in this fight. You know what also it'll do? It'll make him keep his hands at home. That's what the hooks will do as well. It'll make him keep his hands at home. And if he doesn't, boom.
After Bradley delivered his lesson on hooks and hidden angles, Malik Scott entered the discussion with the calm of a strategist, breaking the matchup down like a chess position charged with emotion. He openly leaned toward Shakur, but not from a fan's perspective. It came from the mindset of someone who dissects errors for a living. He repeatedly pointed to Teofimo's tendency to overreach, noting that Shakur is the kind of fighter who can turn a single impatient move into a costly breakdown. Malik also added sharp insight on the southpaw factor, which brought another layer to the conversation.
Okay, with that being said, then what does Teo got to do to win?
He has to get Shakur up. How would I say this? I don't want to just make it seem like come across as if Shakur is novice, but the times that Shakur is putting himself against the ropes, this is the time that Teofimo is going to have to depend on.
When Malik points out Teofimo walking in with his lead hand low, closing the distance on Shakur's jab, it's more than critique. It's a flashing warning sign. Then he shifts to what Teofimo actually has to do in the ring. No fantasy scenarios, just real tactics. Strike when Shakur hits the ropes, increase volume, double up combinations, cut angles, and defend while staying aggressive. It's almost funny because that's like telling a Ferrari to handle like a Tesla. Technically doable, but completely against its natural instincts.
On his explosiveness, he's going to have to depend on his offset lead right hands. He's going to have, but even doing that, everything with Teo comes off his front foot, his explosiveness, his speed, everything. So it's almost like whenever the times he gets Shakur up against the rope, he got to pick his shots well, but then after that, he have to be ready.
Malik also dropped a subtle gem about Shakur's bodywork, comparing him to legends like Pernell Whitaker and Floyd Mayweather. The kind of fighters who mesmerize you with footwork and vision while quietly sapping your energy. Honestly, that's one of the most underrated aspects of Shakur's game. Then Malik shifted into X-Factor mode, breaking down distance control, probing jabs, and the challenge Teofimo faces. Hitting where Shakur will be, not where he is. A piece of advice that sounds simple, but is nearly impossible in practice. The real standout moment, though, was when Malik called Teofimo the most explosive, athletic opponent Shakur has faced, while still asserting Shakur is the superior boxer. That's not disrespect, it's a statement of hierarchy. And when he started talking trilogy, potential, controversial decisions, and battles defined by stubborn footwork, it became clear this fight is about much more than raw power versus defense. It's stubbornness versus precision, ego versus geometry, and two young fighters trying to prove that their vision of boxing reality is the one that survives under the lights.
It's a pay to fight, right? Yeah. But don't have Shakur as much in the corner. I think Shakur wins easily. I just don't trust Shakur on the ropes, stuck in the corner against Teo. Against other fighters, I could get why he would do that, but against Teo punch selections is a lot better than any fighter that Shakur has ever fought. His speed is a lot more rapid than, to me, any fighter Shakur has ever fought. And he's the best athlete Shakur has ever fought. And he's the most explosive fighter Shakur has ever fought. So he's in the fight, definitely. But if you ask me, I'm always going to go with the guy with the best defense, the guy with the best.
Right after Malik Scott broke down this matchup like a graduate seminar on fundamentals versus explosiveness, Zaquin Moses steps in and flips the focus from tactics to bloodlines. And that shift hits hard. You can feel the pride in his voice when he talks about being the oldest of 13, carrying that big brother responsibility while still chasing his own career, and then casually referring to Shakur as his big brother too. That's a legacy layered on top of a legacy. Zaquin says he's not frustrated outside the ring, he's anxious, which in fighter code basically means he's done shadowboxing in the mirror. You can hear the hunger. Back in the gym immediately after fights, desperate to perform, desperate to be seen. He's working to grow into his own identity, saying 2026 will be the year he finally shows everyone who he truly is. Calm, collected, but laser-focused. Then he starts talking about Shakur, and that's where it transforms into family pride at its finest. A mix of respect, loyalty, and legacy, all rolled into one.
Shakur, that person for you that you looked up to?
Yeah, for sure. And that's a blessing, because even though I'm the oldest of 13, I still got somebody to look at as a big brother. Well, he's my big brother, but it's a blessing to have him around, have him show me the way, and him leading as a role model, and everything he is to me, him leading the way for me.
Zaquin made it clear. Shakur is the blueprint, the role model, the guy he calls for advice on everything, both in and out of the ring. That explains a lot about how Shakur moves. He's not just chasing belts. He's setting the standard for the household. When Zach talks about wanting to be the best, ready to face anyone, Vizoli, Moten, there's no hate, just pure competition. That's the mindset of the next generation. Respectful, but relentless. Then, when the topic of Teofimo comes up, Zach goes full cousin mode. He basically says Shakur will do what he wants in the ring. And if he flips into another gear, a stoppage isn't out of the question. This isn't just analysis, it's family confidence backed by gym reality. The calm way he said it made it feel like it's already written. Watching Shakur headline MSG becomes fuel for Zakwin. Seeing your cousin dominate the big stage motivates you like premium espresso. This wasn't just a prospect talking. This was a young fighter showing that the Shakur Stevenson era is a family project. And everyone in that house is leveling up alongside it.
See him beating the shit out of Teofimo. I see Teo just, I don't want to like really say too much, but I see Teo come to do what he's doing. I see Shakur coming to do what he do. And I just see Shakur doing whatever he want. And any type of way he want it, that's how it's going to be. And next week is a big week. And I can't wait for bro to show everybody, for real.
Should beat the shit out of him. Do you think he's going to stop Teofimo Lopez? Do you think if he wants to, he can?
I mean, he act crazy. I think he can. That's all I'm going to say. He act crazy. I think he...
When you put it all together, this build-up feels less like a typical fight preview and more like two philosophies colliding at full speed. Shakur is sharpening himself with Crawford-level discipline, supported by family, mentors, and a system built on precision, patience, and control. Teofimo, on the other hand, carries chaos, confidence, angles, raw power, and that stubborn belief that one moment can change everything. You've got trainers breaking down geometry, fighters discussing mindset, cousins talking legacy, and veterans warning about hooks that can end a career in a blink. This isn't just technique versus technique. It's structure versus explosion, patience versus impulse, and two fighters who truly believe the ring belongs to them. One of their stories is about to get rewritten under those lights. That's what makes this fight not just exciting, but dangerous. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's debate it. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Headquarters.